Hello, this is Pepa Acedo from Eurocat, and I want to welcome everybody to the Mediterranean Digital Transformation Forum. I want to session of the Media Week to allow me to moderate this round table with these renowned speakers that I'm sure that we are all going to enjoy with their speeches. We have today Stephi Husberg, founder and CEO of the Zaro Institute, the part of services. Ishan Himi, managing director of the Maroc numeric cluster in Morocco. We have also Jawed Salim, CEO of the ADEX technology company from Algeria. Um, eh? So now the first speaker. Well, today we are going to talk, of course, about the digital transformation that I think that we all know that is an essential tool, but nowadays that we have to recover the economy in these post-pandemic times, I think it will be really an important tool. So we are going to talk about that. We are going also to talk about the digital transformation roadmaps, and we are going to share here different experience, different points of view from the different parts of the Mediterranean that we have here represented, because we all are involved in this digital transformation. At least we are trying to help others to do it. This is what we are going to talk about. In the first one who talk will be Jawed Salim. He's a computer science engineer, and he also holds a bachelor degree in mathematics. He's currently, as I said before, the general manager of ADEX Technology. That is an IT solution provider company located in Algeria, and he has a long experience in managing different ICT companies, and he has also involved in different organizations. And I want to mention he has been the president of the Fédération Algérienne du Numérique and the president of the Association of Algerian des Technologies de l'Information. He has a nice experience in the COVID-19 projects, and he's going now to talk to us. I leave the floor to him. Please, we cannot hear you. I think that you should connect the microphone. Shall we please try to switch on the microphone? Okay. We are waiting because we want him to solve the technical problems.
And now? It's okay? It's okay? It's okay? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Pepa, for the invitation. Thank you for the organization of this Media Week. I was one of in the first edition of the NABDF, I was invited. It was, I think, in 2004, so something like that. I don't remember exactly. So long story with this event that I was presentially there. So thank you so much. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about digital transformation in my region, and what can we do together and to go to be stronger in the future. So first of all, so I will if you you don't mind, I will switch in French to talk about what experiences that we had in Algeria. Nous avons.
So, as from the outset, in terms of digitalization, what is interesting is that when COVID-19 appeared and started to have an impact, we asked ourselves, can we do something with digitalization today in our country? So we started from a very important statistic. Algeria, as a large country, a continent country, because it's a very wide country in terms of surface area. So we have a mobile penetration rate of more than 106%, so 48 million inhabitants. And so we have 48 million inhabitants connected on the internet, and we have about 160 kilometers, 160,000 kilometers of fibers, cables. So, and if we look at the Facebook accounts, we can count 22 million Facebook accounts. So that's quite impressive. With the 4G and 3G before, a lot of people have been, are now connected. So that's why we thought that digitalization could provide a solution to this pandemic. So we had this post-COVID-19 hackathon, and we said we have to include the entire population, the young ones, the older ones, the women, and everybody should participate to provide solutions. So we had 5 projects, 5 axes, so digitalization for health, and also post-COVID-19 management if there were a second wave of the pandemic, and also digitalization for good governance, and also for society, what can it bring to society, managing donations or cultural spaces, and also what it can do for the economy, especially economies in crisis as in our country. So digital economy is not really developed in our country. There's a lot of things to do in order to develop this and provide opportunities to people. And nothing can work if we don't have this fintech environment and payments. So we had targeted 200 people at first, but we in the end got 1,500 people online with this hackathon. It was a virtual, 100% virtual hackathon. So we had the adherence of the entire country. We had almost gender equality. 40% of participants were women, and we got 200 projects out of it, and we selected 100 projects and 20 winners. So 5 women in tech winners, and we also had prizes like Best Initiative, Best Startup Company, Best Technological Progress, because we also had an aspect dealing with research. So what is interesting is that this created social inclusion. This event also created virtual teams. I mean, some Algerians participated in this hackathon with teams in Algeria. So this idea of territory would not be relevant anymore. So people could be from their home, but this human anchoring was the most important thing. So there was nothing of, going to the north, the south, or anywhere else within the country. So that was wonderful. And we had so many very interesting projects, and some of them are starting with startup companies and so on. And this is an experience that has to be repeated in all fields, even after the pandemic. And it just shows that our digital generations today, highly digitalized generations, can really contribute to the Algerian economy. Now, within this concept, at the same time, in Algeria, we also have a powerful government program, which is high digitalization program to fight against anything that is against democracy. Also, if you want to target populations and so on. So you have to know that a part of the digital economy is 4%, and this is the average is 8 or 9%, in some countries 12%, and the World Bank thinks that within 10 years it's going to be 25%. So we have a big growth margin ahead of us. Digitalization is a growth factor, is a social inclusion factor, and a human anchoring factor to develop all the different territories. And with this experience in this hackathon in Algeria, we really had all these reflections about employment, populations, and this idea of geography today is not related to employment anymore. So employments are not related to certain territories anymore. You just need to have high connectivity and platforms, and you can be anywhere. So that is why we have a few witnesses in our country that we've perceived we lack digital infrastructures, which are the essential elements to digitalize the entire country. So we have not enough clouds in the southern part of our country, and we don't have interconnections between the north and the south, because when we see the optical fiber cables, if it goes through the Suez Canal or Suez Channel, or through Spain, or the Euro-Mediterranean connection through the UK. I mean, we would need a more local interconnection. We would need some data motorways in between the north and the south, the Mediterranean Sea. So we need to have a high availability of data. And so I was in China several times, and I visited different platforms, and so I know they are relevant, and platforms also make us think how other people think. Now, we need to develop our own solutions. It's a strategy. Digital sovereignty becomes very important. Virtual spaces with a local control is becoming an important issue. We broadcast a lot of data on the internet, and we know that in our regions data are available but not used, and they are used somewhere else and studied. So if we go to the international platforms with local structures and development, this will help much more the southern countries. And it will help these countries to go towards innovation. Digitalization is not for the rich only. Obviously, we need some infrastructures, but also it has to do with growth for the younger populations, for startup companies, and above all, for problems, to fight local problems, which aren't problems or issues that happen in Europe. We have local issues. We have to make a difference between countries. When mobile payment was invented, it was to see how we could cope on how to transfer money into different countries. So the problems that we have in the southern countries are not the same problems as in the northern countries. I would tend to say that the problems for northern countries are problems of rich people, whereas we have existence issues to solve. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Now, sorry. Thank you very much, Awed. I think it has been very interesting what you have been explaining to us. At the end, if we have time, and because I know that you have to leave, but probably could happen that there are some questions, but if you have to leave before, okay, we should find another time for it. Now our next speaker is Ishan. She, sorry, Ishan Himi is the managing director of the Maroc Numeric Chapter. It's a public-private agency that supports the development of digital innovation in Morocco. Prior to that, Inshine Himi was a private sector development consultant with the World Bank. Her portfolio includes several projects related to startups ecosystem within the MENA region, and she is a leader member of the Maghreb Startup Network. Inshine was also a staff member at the International Monetary Fund in Washington, and she started her career at the European Investment Bank in Luxembourg, where she was a business analyst for the MENA region's operation. She has been visiting professor at the American University of Leadership in Morocco, and she holds a master in management and MBA. So I leave the floor to your speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pepa, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. So my name is Ihsan Himi. I'm the managing director of Maroc Numeric Cluster. It's a public-private entity. As Pepa said, our main mission is to promote innovation and digital technology implementation here in Morocco. Amongst our members, we have most ecosystem innovation ecosystem players. So we have R&D centers, startups, SMEs, as well as multinationals and universities. What we do, and our main goal, is to actually build bridges between these different ecosystem players. So, as everybody knows, the expansion of digital technologies in all socioeconomic sectors definitely opens up new ventures for rapid and innovative growth, as well as job creation. So, if we look at the numbers, as Jamal said before, the global digital economy back in 2016 represented about 15.5% of the GDP, but it can definitely reach about 25% by 2025. With the current pandemic, we have seen even more the importance of innovation and the importance of putting in place the right initiatives in order to achieve that. So if we talk about the challenges that we face here in Morocco, and I think they're similar in the MENA region, whether we talk about Algeria, Tunisia, it's first of all, the challenges are related to the infrastructure and the regional aspect of infrastructures. So if we take the example of Morocco, we estimate that only 7% of the Moroccan territory produces almost 60% of the GDP. So we definitely have to improve our infrastructure and access to high-speed internet in the rural areas, and not keep that just in the big cities. So how can we do that, and what have we learned from the north of Mediterranean experiences is that public-private PPPs are very good tools in order to implement that. We've seen it in France, where more than 400 PPPs have helped to build that type of networks in order to give everyone access to quality infrastructure that will definitely help speed up the innovation process. Besides the infrastructure, everything that is related to eGov, and then again, the COVID-19 crisis has shown that basically everything is possible. We have been implementing digital eGov, government products in a record time, and we've been talking, for instance, about the digital signature, digitalizing all the administrative papers, and it has been in the talks for a long time. And thanks to COVID-19, it has been deployed very, very quickly. So the eGov part is very important, and finally, the most important part is to really reach the goal of having a very dynamic innovation ecosystem. So when I talk about that, I am thinking about startups, SMEs, and ecosystem players. So that's what we do actually in the cluster. We try to build bridges between these ecosystem players by giving them tools. And for us, the three main challenges are, first of all, innovation for leadership. So how do we equip all these ecosystem players or all these counterparts with the right tools in order to be able to develop innovative solutions that are at international standards and that can be absorbed not only in the Moroccan market, but also in other countries. How do we do that? It's very simple. I think that there is a great opportunity between Mediterranean countries to collaborate for that type of initiatives, either through collaborative projects, where you put in touch basically R&D centers from, let's say, the south of the Mediterranean with the partners from Europe, and then they work together. Here in Morocco, we do have a lot of innovation. A lot of people are skilled, and actually we have a lot of them who live and go work in Europe, which is not ideal for us because we would like to retain these talents. Collaboration, soft landing programs, all these tools, collaborative projects can definitely improve the interaction between both sides of the Mediterranean. And that brings us to the next part, which is also one of the main challenges of the innovation ecosystem, which is growth and access to markets. So how can we make sure that innovative companies in Morocco have access to international markets, whether it's Europe, North America? Basically, how do we push this innovation? So how do we as a cluster do that? And I'm going to talk about our experience and the convening power that we have to help and promote the innovation in Morocco. What we do is we have a lot of conventions and partnerships with similar clusters all over the world. And we really put in touch, basically, we're really focused on the B2B area. So our main goal is to make sure that the companies, our R&D centers, or basically all our members have access to deals, business deals, that whether it's through access to market, open innovation challenges, or just networking B2B meetings, introducing the Moroccan ecosystem players with the potential clients that are in the networks of our partners abroad, where we feel that this is the added value that we have on the market. So innovation for growth is definitely one of our main priority, in addition to the innovation for leadership. Finally, the last aspect that we really want to push, and we think is very important for the keep our main mission, which is innovation in Morocco, it's basically innovation for reform. So for us, we cannot talk about innovation if there is no legislative or regulatory framework that helps us, that accompanies us basically in the entire process. So how do we do that? It's very simple. We use our convening power and our relationship with the Ministry of Trade, the digital agency, in order to, and we have a bottom-up approach where we bring this innovation, these problems that come from the ecosystem players, and we try to basically facilitate the dialogue. How do we do that? We present on a very regular basis quick wins, like whether it's in the form of circulars or just propositions to the ministry to see how we can push these reforms. So innovation so access to a legislative framework, access to new markets, access to that will allow our companies to grow, and also access to tools in order to develop the skills to become leaders in this area is very important for us. We're very happy to be part of the conversation, because for us, none of these objectives can be reached if we don't have strong partners when it comes to financing, when it comes to access to expertise, and when it comes to, as I said, access to new markets. So being part of the conversation is great, and following that by actions is even better. and we actually have a lot of events and seminar beside all the projects that we work on to continue this dialogue and really convene the dialogue between Europe and the MENA region. And that's about it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Insan. I think that you also have to leave in few minutes. So, okay, I want to thank you your intervention. Yes, we have suffered some delay. So, okay, at the end for the real roundtable, I think we are going to be just two of us. But many times I think that you have made a clear explanation that haven't reached the roundtable.
Thank you so much, Stephi. Thank you, and thank you for the organizing team. Have a great day.
Okay. Now the next speaker is Stephi Husberg, who holds a business degree with more than 11 years of experience in IT project management and IT purchasing. During her professional career, she got to know all the aspects of the IT project management and purchasing and managed various projects and teams. Since its foundation in 2018, she has been responsible for the business of Jaro services in Germany. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Peppa. Can you put in my slides? Oh, here we go. Thank you very much. So, yeah, thank you very much for the invitation and for the honor to be able to speak and share with you here in this round. And today I would like to hold a pledge really for a sustainable digital transformation. So a topic that is not only something that addresses the Mediterranean region, but actually the whole world, and also us in Germany. So it is really something that addresses all 4 points of this agenda of this digital transformation forum. So only when we are able to do a sustainable digital transformation, we are able to recover faster from the pandemic scenario. We are able to create new jobs, and we are really able to really use the opportunities that digitalization can have. So would you please show the next slide? Thank you. So prior to stepping into that point, I would just really take the time to shortly introduce ourselves. Who are we? As Peppa already said, we were founded in 2018 in Berlin. So we are a non-profit organization based in Berlin, and we have really a vision, and our vision is to really ensure that the sustainable action becomes standard for economy, for administrations, for all kind of organization, actually for everyone, so that we do not have to talk about sustainability as a pillar, but that we make sure that whatever we do, whatever business function we have, sustainability is baked in. In order to achieve that, we have 3 focus areas that we are working in. The one thing is sustainable procurement. And the other one is sustainable tourism. And the third one, which is why I'm here today, is sustainable digitalization. So these are the 3 focus areas and 3 working groups that we are also having. So also my question to you out there, if you're willing to join us, to help us work in our working group, please become a member. We are an international group, so you can really join us here. And we would love to have even a bigger international team here. And we are also very, very proud to have a great, stop, just one more second, thank you, to have a great advisory board. And here actually comes also our connection to the Mediterranean. We have a connection to the European Mediterranean Arab Association, and in form of Clara Grudroy, who is the Secretary General as part of this organization. And she's also part of our advisory board. And together with this corporation and association, we are working on different projects. And yeah, so now you can switch to the next slide. Thanks. So what I really would like to throw into the ring here, also for a discussion base, is actually, first of all, a proposal for what we mean when we say a sustainable digital transformation. So we see it really as a process which promotes sustainable development by, which is very important, decoupling growth from resource consumption. That is really something that is a big challenge in terms of digitalization. Including and protecting people and their data. I will come back to that shortly. Promoting collaboration. We've heard it a lot already in the speeches before. Collaboration is key. And of course, recycling. And one very important thing, constantly questioning its economic, ecological, as well as its social impact. So really see it as a holistic concept here. Could you please go next? To the next slide, please. So, and that's why I would really put into the ring also 7 points that are of importance. They are not complete, but they are of high utmost importance, especially when we're talking about setting up a digital transformation agenda. So, first of all, sustainability needs to be the North Star of digitalization and not digitalization itself. And the first very important point is, which was already mentioned a lot of time here and also in the opening speeches, is really collaborate and share. And also in order to fulfill the SDG 17. Digitalization in order to fulfill sustainability is a marathon, and we have to do this together. And we've seen it from the two speeches before that there have been suddenly, because of the pandemic, suddenly great collaborations that came up, and we have the possibilities to do so. We go a step over borders and work together on solutions when we are really facing an issue. Of course, right now we're facing COVID, but let's face it, the climate crisis is a little bit bigger even as that, and we have to collaborate on that as well. So really also my pledge to the policymakers that are listening, please put collaboration and a fair collaboration also on your agenda for a digital transformation agenda. Also to companies out there, join forces with NGOs, with associations that really help you, even with competitors if necessary. And also share your knowledge, share your mistakes so that we can together grow stronger. Also share data. We heard it from before with hackathons. Hackathons are a great way to suddenly invent something that has not been done there before, but we need data in order to do this. That leads me to the second point. Please highly value data protection. So this must be a very, very important point on the agenda for a digital transformation, because we need clear rules on what are people, what are private data, and what is public data, and how we as a society, and then I'm not looking at the Mediterranean only, I think it is something that we as a complete society on the world need to think about, how we treat data and how we want to work with that. Because what we see right now is that data is produced by everyone, but only a few people make a lot of money with it. And we need to make sure that this chain, this spiral gets broken here. So also to entrepreneurs, when you are out there to set up new business models, when you set up business models that rely on digital tools, think about what happens with the data. How do you collect it? How do you share it? So really make this part of it. So data at all needs more weight into the whole topic. Then one point is very important. Don't copy and want to solve problems from the people in your local areas. So build products that matters. I've heard it from Isane, I hope I spelled it out right, just before. Look at what is the problem and solve it, and see digitalization as a good tool to do so. Because I'm also convinced that only digital products that really solve problems will stay sustainable and create jobs in the long run, and really be a sustainable employee. My pledge towards especially policymakers and investors, really invest only in sustainable business models. So money can create facts. I mean, we've seen it right now that the money is transferring more and more into sustainability, and really, when thinking about also a transformation agenda, think about where the funding should go. So also digital ideas, digital products need a sustainability thinking behind it. And that really comes to the point of my pledge to entrepreneurs: really build products that have a positive impact on sustainability. Currently, we see that digitalization does not show a positive impact on sustainability, even though we promote it as such, and it has great chances, which we can talk about later. But right now, we have a huge rebound effect. More and more hardware is produced, more and more energy is consumed by digital products. And what we're lacking are digital products that have a net zero or even net positive impact. So that would be something that could also put you on top of the agenda, because let's face it, with all the laws coming up, also in Germany, we're discussing about supply chain laws. You will be asked how sustainable your product is. So also the digital product, and this could bring you really ahead on the whole chain. And really important, digitalization is a tool and not the goal. So whenever you see a problem, try to solve it and use digitalization whenever necessary, but don't overdo it. I think that would bring us really to good problem solving issues. And the very, very most important part is really educate. And because we need to lay the foundation in the schools, but we also have to make sure that lifelong learning is possible, because we see that the new technologies are evolving. They're actually right now impacting our societies. I mean, look at America, what happened during the elections. And part of it is really because of not understanding how algorithms work. And we need to ensure that the people stay ahead and on top of these technologies and understand this. So this is 7 very important points I want to bring here. And just to mention that, what you already said before, this is not only a pledge for the Mediterranean, it's the same for Germany, it's the same for the rest of the world. And of course, the basis is good infrastructure. We in Germany are also not the ones who can say we have a great infrastructure. We're staying behind way much. And so we really have to do the same as well. So, yeah, these are the 7 points I would really bring it here. Really make sustainability your North Star for your digitalization projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steffi. I will add, if you allow me, not just educate. I also add innovate.
Oh yeah.
Because we have to find new
Yes.
solutions to these problems, because it seems that we have not been good enough. So we should find new ways of solve these new challenges. And this, okay, I think that we are not going to have too many times for the questions, but I just want to introduce the concept of the digital innovation hubs, because I changed my intervention to the last one, because some of our colleagues should have another appointments. But in my case, I just want to talk about this European initiative that is based on the regional initiatives. The European Commission defines the hubs as ecosystems that consist on SMEs, large industries, startups, researchers, accelerators, and investors, with the aim to create the best conditions for long-term business success. This means that the different the different competence centers, or the different research or technology centers, are also present, that has the new technology, the infrastructures, and so on. And they make this regional network to share their knowledge to face the different challenges that the different companies or the public administration and so on could present, and altogether will be easier to face this challenge and to solve it. What the digital innovation hub is to have altogether this possibility with infrastructures to test before invest, to allow a company to make a feasibility study or a proof of concept. Then a company could find support to find investment. Also, this networking, this innovation ecosystem, and tools for improve the skills and the training. What what this is at regional level, and then what Europe is going to is promoting or is this network of the different digital innovation hubs across Europe. In this way, we could share different best practices, knowledge, and if a company, it could happen that imagine that a small SME near Barcelona has a challenge, and he goes to the Digital Innovation Hub, and usually they could find this help. But if it's something that here we don't have the solution, we could go through the network at European level, and altogether probably it will be easier to find the different solutions to this challenge. So at the end, what we have is the different regional that are really close to the companies, to the administrations, to the financial entities and so on. And we also have the network of all the hubs across Europe. So in this way, I think that it's a good way, or it's a proper architecture that will allow us to face this digitalization at European level, building from the regional level at the big level. So here in Catalonia, what we are building is what we call Digital Innovation Hub for CAT, that acts as a regional hub for services and support mechanisms for the digital transformation of the companies, with a special focus, of course, in the SMEs and the public services, who have also a big work to do for digitalize. What this Digital Innovation Hub here in Catalonia has 7 nodes, one on artificial intelligence, another in cybersecurity, another in high performance computing, another one in smart communications, another in 3D printing, and advanced manufacturing and robotics, and the last one in photonics. So with these 7 nodes and just one stop shop for the companies to arrive to this network of nodes, we are going to face the digitalization, or to facilitate the digitalization in our region. So since we don't have a lot of time, I think my speech will finish here, and I don't know, because I think I don't know if we have some time. We could have some few minutes. So I don't know, Steffi, if you want to add something, or because now it could be a conversation among. We are all. It seems
No, I don't think it's
5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so we are just the two of us. I don't know if you want to add something,
okay.
because for me it has been
Yeah.
for me it has been really interesting what you have said, that the growth and separated to the resources consumption. I don't know that if in the world we are, it's not really easy to talk about competitiveness, and at the same way to be able to talk about less resource consumption, to be more green, to, I don't know if you could tell us how to
Okay.
manage this, that it seems
Okay.
at the beginning to the opposite.
Yes, that is actually something that, can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
No.
Now, can you hear me now? Okay, thanks, sorry. How it happened? Okay, now, I don't touch anything anymore. Don't touch it. Okay, never change a running system. And now that actually is an argument that we hear as well here in Germany and in Northern Europe as well. How can we bake this in? And I can just repeat what I just said. What we see is a mind shift that is happening right now, also in the consumers. That they more and more understand that it is necessary. We have planetary boundaries. We cannot consume over the top, so we have to find new solutions for consumption as well, and for competitiveness in this way. And I'm quite sure that there will be no way around sustainability for a company. Each company in the supply chain will be asked, what do you do for sustainability? And this highly will bring you to the point that you will be selected by that. It will become a selection criteria. It's not only the price anymore. It's not only the mass amount that you are able to set up. It is sustainability. What is your answer to that? Because the people will ask you that, and it starts right now. And it's already there in a lot of countries where they have set up laws for more sustainability in the supply chains. So I don't think it's a buzzword anymore. And since we now see this shift of money, of investors who really go into green deals, I mean, what is happening right now? Huge companies are already shifting their focus points. And this, of course, affects the supply chains as well. And I think that can be a huge benefit if young companies come up now and really strive for that and really go out there, because there are also platforms emerging that promote sustainable suppliers. Sustainable solutions, and it's coming more and more. So why not use this as an advantage instead of seeing it as a problem? Start with just expanding your business canvas by the thought of sustainability. When you start setting up a business or when you're running a business, look at it. What are you doing? What is your contribution to the SDGs? And then start with small steps towards it. Because you will be asked, and the consumers will look at it. Plus, what we see here in Germany, I don't know yet how it is in the Mediterranean world, but what we see here is a company that has an answer to what they do in sustainability is chosen by employees, by talents. So the VAR for talents really goes into that direction as well, if you have an answer to that, because the people look for that value, for that for sustainability in their jobs as well. So also this can bring you up to speed and bring you forward. And that's why I don't see it as a problem. I see it as a huge challenge. It's something new that we all have to explore. There is no perfect answer to sustainability. There will be new technologies emerging. There will be new methods emerging that will help us, that need to help us. Otherwise, there is no way around it. We need to solve that problem. That will push these companies forward. So see it as a challenge and not as a huge mountain you can climb. Just start climbing. That was my pledge.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I think you're right. You combined it. Okay, so now we have not more time. So just to thanks again to the audience and also to the panelists, the ones that are here, but also the other two. And that's all. Many thanks, and let's continue with the other sessions.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.